All right. Well, the biggest news of the week is Saints quarterback Jameis Winston did not throw an interception this week. He completed 9 of 10 passes, 123 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is he the starting quarterback in New Orleans? Aaron, why don't you kick us off?
Jameis is my winner this week. I'm going to get right into it. Jameis looked like reborn or something. He looked so smooth and under control and just in rhythm back there in the pocket. And I was talking to Tanner about this earlier this week. You know, under Arians, that's a really aggressive, vertical, launch the ball downfield in the coverage. Even Luck, when Luck was under Arians that year, he threw a shitload of interceptions. Maybe not 30 like Winston did, but a lot. So I'm wondering, and I know I was really down on the Saints this week, and I know this is a preseason game, so I'm not trying to flip-flop too much or overreact to a preseason game, but I'm just starting to wonder a little bit, maybe under Sean Payton's tutelage, that system, if maybe he's just a little bit more suited for this. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what could happen. He threw both of those touchdown passes were beautiful balls. You can't argue with that. I mean, he put the ball where only his wide receiver could catch it, and he was draped in coverage both times. And what was it, Marquez Callaway made just a hell of a catch on both of those. So yeah, I'm excited for Jameis. I think he won that job in that first quarter, and I'm interested to see how this goes. Drew's been shaking his head for 30 seconds.
Oh boy!
Please, let's hear it, Drew. What do you please retort?
I'm tired of overreacting to preseason games. What gets interceptions in the National Football League thrown is not bad throws. These guys are the top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1% of throwers in the world, right? That's what they're here for. Jameis Winston gets into trouble with reads. You can see that in Tampa Bay early in his career, even which the Arians point is fair. That's a very vertical driven offense. There's a lot of jump balls thrown, if you will, but he also threw them to Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, who are, I would argue, two of the best deep ball catchers probably in the NFL. It's a preseason game. No defensive coordinator is putting anything out there. You're not running a cover 2 shell and then like shifting into cover 6 and like throwing weird blitzes in the middle of the preseason. These are base coverages. These are reads that Jameis has made since his sophomore year in high school. And I'm not going to tell you that he's a bad quarterback because he can't make all the throws. He was the number 1 pick in the draft. We all saw it. He can make those throws. I just think in the regular season, when you see more deception from the defense, you see more odd pressure packages. Like, dude, the guy's just a fucking goober. Like, you see it before the game. He was doing a warm up with like a walking stick and like a tennis ball, and I have no idea. Like, there's just no way this guy is good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't see it. I think that he still throws like 25 plus picks this year.
Yeah, no, Drew, I think I'm in that camp as well. I don't know. Sean Payton came out recently and said that Jameis was not going to have the interception problems he had in the past. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath on that one. I think you're exactly right. Not only was it a preseason games, vanilla coverages, it was the Jags. I don't know too many of their defensive players. I used to be relatively high on the Jags, maybe in April or so when their number was a little different. But that was mostly because of their offensive players, or Urban could turn it around or something like that. I don't know anybody on this defense. I think that in the preseason, he looked like he was back at Florida State playing against Boston College again, throwing those types of balls. Jameis always has had the physical tools. That hasn't been the issue. You're exactly right. It's about those reads. It's when he's playing an elite defense in the NFL. And, I thought, for a little bit, it's Sean Payton, though. He's going to coach him up. He's a great coach. But at this point, what has Sean Payton really done that Bruce Arians hasn't done? And Bruce Arians couldn't do it. I'm not sure we see that much of a different Jameis. There's no Mike Thomas right now. I'm not sold. I do think he should be the starter over Taysom Hill, but that's about as far as I'll go.
So on their entire defense per PFF last year, how many players were top 30 in their position?
Jags or Saints?
Jags.
That's a Jag question. Top 30th last year?
Yeah, top 30 last year.
Probably none, but I'm gonna have a retort to this. Let me pull up my notes from episode.
I can't think of one.
It was one. It was Miles Jack. Miles Jack was 11th in his position out of 83 Mike linebackers last year. That is it.
11th Mike. The 11th Mike. So maybe the least important position in all of football. They were 11th.
Very much the can you put your head down and hit that person's head at a fast speed position. He was top 30 at that.
All right. So I would like to respond to that. Here are a list of players.
You people at home can't see Aaron looking like a 1980 stockbroker with his phone to his ear.
Oh. Do you see his fingers too? Is he pointing at something?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% I was. Tyson Campbell, second-round draft pick out of UGA. Shaq Griffin, cornerback, signed to a 3-year, $40 million contract. Rayshawn Jenkins signed to a 4-year, $35 million contract. And former Chicago Bear, Roy Robertson Harris, 3 years, 20. They added some beef. They added some talent. They invested into this defense. So, again, it was a preseason game. I couldn't even tell you if all four of those played in that game last night. I don't know. Right. I'm just trying to make the point that the whole Arians offense was just like this, just maniacal, chuck the ball downfield, score points, score points, score points. And this offense is, let's give the ball to Kamara like 30 to 40 times a game behind one of the best offensive lines in football. And then maybe Jameis make a few throws here and there. Like that just seems to be a much more reasonable role for Jameis.
I'm sorry. You think that you're going to hand the ball to Alvin Kamara 30 to 40 times a game and he's going to make it through a 17-game season? What are we talking about here?
I'm saying between carries and receptions, he's probably going to be in the 25 to 30 touch range per game.
We'll see how long he lasts there. I'm worried about the Saints. I'm worried about the Saints.
The Saints stink, man. They were one of my
I'm not flip-flopping. I'm not totally flip-flopping. I'm just saying I saw a little bit that I didn't expect to see. I saw a little bit of a cohesive, well-coached unit that I didn't really expect to see. I kind of thought they were falling apart from just reading the headlines, but they are a little still more intact than I expected to. So I don't know. We'll see.
You're cooling on fading the Saints.
I am no longer really looking to hammer the under on the Saints. I'm definitely not going to play the over, but it's more of a no play for me at this point. That's what I'd say.
That's good. I bought all the stock on the under. I'm currently the majority owner of under shares for the New Orleans Saints, and that's fine.
Who would you, being a ticket holder for the under, who do you want to play quarterback for the Saints? Who do you think is worse?
Who would I want? I want Mormon Tim Tebow. I want Taysom Hill to be the quarterback for the Saints if I'm pulling for the under.
Okay.
Did you see the picture?
So you do agree that Jameis is better than Taysom?
That is the dumbest question. That's like, do you agree that a former number one pick who clearly has all the talent is better than, like, I don't know, the last Washington State quarterback that went pro? Like, yeah, dude. Yes.
You know, the thing that surprised me about Taysom Hill, we kept hearing about this guy and kept hearing about him the last couple of years, and I thought he was like 24 or 25, and it was like, oh, no. Taysom Hill's like a 33-year-old man. It's like,
oh, yeah.
Excuse me?
Because he's Mormon. Like, so he graduated college, and instead of going to the NFL, he went on a mission. He built like churches in an orphanage in like Argentina for 2 years. It's what they do. So notice that Zach Wilson was going to go like number 3, and he's like, I got my own mission, guys. Like, don't worry about it. My mission is somewhere in the northern New Jersey. I'll take care of it. I'll figure it out. It's near a pork store somewhere by Verona. Tony's there.
So that makes more sense because I always thought Taysom Hill looked like he was like a couple of bad weeks of football away from working in a lumber yard in like South Dakota somewhere. So that checks out.
They'll take him back to Utah. He'll like manage like an REI store near like Zion. Like Taysom Hill's gonna fuck when this is over, man. It's all good. He's got a plan.